Conservatives are starting to get banned from having bank accounts because of their political beliefs. This is something that should concern everybody on any side of any wishy-washy fence. Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love. Hey, what's up everybody? Good morning, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are, welcome to the family. So this is something that should absolutely concern everybody. Conservatives are starting to get banned from Chase Bank because of their political views. Twitter because of their political views, Facebook because of their political views, YouTube because of their political views. Now, I don't know if any of you know about China's social justice system, but let me educate you just a little bit about what I know, which is probably not very much, but it's a little bit to give you some context. China, a while back, had started a social justice system to try to form their populace brain into a certain way of thinking. They wanted everybody to be uber polite and uber legal and things like that. So they started a social justice system. If you've ever seen Black Mirror, and you've seen that episode, I forget what it's called, but where you're standing in the social hierarchy dependent on the score system that you had. Well, that's essentially what it is. Let's say you have an expired ticket to ride the train. You use an expired ticket to ride the train. Well, now you've got a mark against you. Because you have that mark against you, now you can't get certain services, like you can't ride the train and you can't get other certain public services. Well, that's where we're headed. This is something that should be concerning to everybody involved here. This isn't just an isolated incident. This is a little bit of a snowball. Regardless of people's political opinion, we shouldn't be stifling it. We should be hearing it. And if it's a bad opinion, we should be spreading it to everybody so that everybody can see that it's a bad opinion, so that they can know to stay away from that opinion. We need to be hearing bad opinions, not trying to shut them up. And then, who's deciding what opinions are bad? Chase Bank? Why are we letting a bank decide what opinions are good and what opinions are bad? This is a slippery road to go down. To start silencing people and cutting off services due to their political beliefs. This is not good. Imagine, if you will, that you go into a bank, and at this bank they've got gummy bears everywhere, so you figure, wow, these people must really like gummy bears. And then you walk up and you're like, that's cool that you have all these gummy bears, but I personally really don't like gummy bears very much. And then they tell you, well, we got to close your bank account, I'm sorry, because you don't like gummy bears. Yeah, I know, extreme example, but it's on par with the subject. Because of someone's political beliefs, this is not going to end well for anybody. Because if you don't stop it here, what's to stop the next progression? Now they don't agree with your clothing style. Now they don't agree with where you live. Now they don't agree with the color of your skin. This is where we're headed. And I know it's a stretch. I'm taking it to the absurd conclusion. But sometimes you have to take it to the absurd conclusion to be able to show people how absurd it is. And I highly recommend people call Chase Bank and say, what in the world is going on? If I call Chase Bank, and maybe I will, maybe I'll call Chase Bank and I'll say, hey, I want to set up a bank account. But I've heard that you guys are banning people, so what do I need to stay away from in order to keep a bank account in good standing with you? Just to get an idea. So far, the videos that I've watched of people who have called, and Martina Markota, she was one of the conservatives that had gotten banned from the bank, they're not really saying why they banned them, but everybody knows why they banned them, because of their political beliefs. See, I think things like Twitter and YouTube and Facebook should be bastions of free speech. It should be where people go to hear dissenting opinions. And if YouTube and Twitter had a sense of business sense, they would open it up and say, yes, this is a place to hear all kinds of dissenting opinions. We're not going to ban anybody. And when these loud, squeaky minorities holler up and say, oh, but what about our feelings? They should look down at them and say, yes, but what about free speech? What about good ideas? What about being able to hear a dissenting opinion, taking the evidence from the dissenting opinion, weighing it against your own evidences, and then coming up with a better idea, we're all just going to end up dying in an echo chamber of either good ideas or bad ideas, rather than just getting them all out there and saying, nope, this is a bad idea. Oh, yeah, this is a good idea. And it's everywhere. It boils over into cultural appropriation. Well, now you can't do anything that's not of your own culture. If you're the wrong skin color, you can't wear the wrong clothing, eat the wrong food. Cultural appropriation, it's cultural appreciation. Just like hearing dissenting opinions, it's political appreciation. It's hearing an idea and weighing it on its merits, and either tossing it aside as a bad idea or embracing it as a good idea. And sometimes when you embrace a dissenting opinion that has been presented to you with logic and reason and fact, and it changes your belief system, you can hold on to it and you can be glad to know that I had the wrong belief system and now my belief system is better. That's what this is about, challenging the belief systems, seeing where everybody stands, getting bad ideas out there, tossing them away, and propagating good ideas. Never shy away from dissenting opinions. Always get your news from several sources. And I'm a little bit biased here, but I would say, yeah, watch mainstream media, but kind of stay away from mainstream media as God's to honest truth, because here's the God's to honest truth. They get paid whether they get the news wrong or not, and they don't care. Other sources, such as YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, they're a lot of times associated with people that, look, if our ideas are bad, people aren't going to watch it because they're going to say, your ideas are crap. And that is the power of this. But when we start banning people, when we start telling people you have wrong think, and you are being denied services because of wrong think, there is something fundamentally wrong here that needs to be called out. We can't sit idly by and let people get banned for their political beliefs, because guess what? You're next. You can please some of the people all the time, and you can please all the people some of the time, but you cannot please all the people all the time. And if you can't please all the people all the time, at some point, it is you who is going to be on the chopping block, unless you speak up with me and say, this is not right. So, any suggestions on a good hashtag or some sort of effective thing that we can do collectively to say, hey, this is not good and we cannot stand for this. If nothing else, at least tell us why these people were banned, so that way we, the public, supposed to be the masters of this nation, can weigh what you're doing against what we believe is correct, and tell you, the lowly company that is below us, even though evidently we are speaking from the cheap seats and the nosebleeds, but we let things go. Because if we demand something and the corporation doesn't do it, and we deny them our services, we win. But if we sit idly by and we let them do this, it sends a message to other companies, other resources, other places of business that it is okay for them to do this. Which is why it is important to keep this in your mind and think about it. Imagine if you were banned, you had a bank account, things were going fine, and all of a sudden you were banned because of your political beliefs. This is not America. That is not what it was built upon. We're supposed to be able to hear dissenting opinions. We are a melting pot, for crying out loud. At least that's what it says. I want to know your opinion. And I want to know what we can do as a group. Let's get together. What can we do to try to hold some accountability to Chase Bank? Even if we were ants and we were not heard, at least we did something. At least we tried. At least we'll be known as, hey, you know, they didn't give up and they tried to do something. So let me know, is it a hashtag? What can we do to let our voices be heard and say we can't allow this? Even if you don't agree with my opinions, this will end up affecting you as well. So comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what it is that we can do. What hashtag, what letter writing campaign, what phone calling campaign, what can we do in order to do something to make this right? Because it's a snowball, and if we don't stop it, it's going to be an avalanche. And if you think it won't affect you, just think about this. Are you positive that your opinions and your political beliefs are in line with every single person, every single time, every time? Because if you're not, then you are at risk as well. This affects all of us. This is America. We're in this together. We are a family, and family does for family, regardless. I love you guys. I love you, world. Good night, my beautiful world. I am waiting for you, and I'm here. Take care, good night, and I'll see you guys on the next one.